Hi, I'm Dana Schwartz, and this is Rise or Die, the official companion podcast for Peacock's original series, Those About to Die. On this podcast, I go behind the scenes with the show's cast and creators to learn how they brought their brutal vision of Rome to life. I talked to acclaimed director and executive producer Roland Emmerich.
When I saw the first race, I was like giddy.
Actor Ewan Rayan.
For an actor, that's a dream, although you do get a lot of sand in your sandals.
And so many more.
You helped summon those ghosts back onto that stage.
Every day when I went to set, I was giggling about what I saw.
I think it's going to be a breathtaking thing.
People will freak out.
Rise or Die launches on July 18th. Watch or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone, so we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural then and now.
Hey friends in the Los Angeles area, we just want to remind you we will be doing a live taping at the Nerd Melt showroom in Los Angeles on February 2nd. For tickets and more information, please visit nerdmeltla.com.
Today we are so excited to have two guests with us on our show. Two! Cameron Esposito and Rhea Butcher, who are brilliant comedians, badass feminists, wives to each other. You may know them from a wonderful show called Take My Wife. You may know them from a podcast called Put Your Hands Together. You may know them just because they're the best. And we're going to sit down with them and talk to them for the whole episode today.
We are so pumped. Welcome to Buffering the Vampire Slayer, a podcast where we're watching and discussing every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer one by one. I am Jenny Owen Youngs.
And I'm Kristen Russo, and this week we're talking about Season 2, Episode 2, Some Assembly Required. Stay tuned at the end of this podcast every week for an original song written by us, recapping the Buffy episode that we're discussing.
Some Assembly Required was written by Ty King, directed by Bruce Seth Green, who is not Seth Green, he's a whole other person, and originally aired on September 22nd, 1997.
This is the one where two science club nerds use body parts to create the, quote, perfect girlfriend for a teenager who has been brought back from the dead. I want everyone to know that on the IMDb description, there's a tiny image, and the tiny image is the picture from the inside of the locker that's like all of the cutout pieces of magazine body. That's the image for this episode. So.
If a ransom note was just a picture of a girl.
Yes, exactly. So there's a small dog sitting next to me with his sweet little head lying on my lap.
What's that dog wearing?
A very beautiful Christmas sweater. A very nice Christmas sweater.
Who'd that dog come with?
The dog, right, did not come alone.
He can't drive.
This dog's name is Murph. Oh my gosh, he knows I'm talking about him. He's making little movements like he knows.
Wow.
And Murph's parents are Cameron Esposito and Rhea Butcher, who are here with us.
Yay!
Yay!
You guys, this is so fun already. He did drive us here, though. He can't drive alone.
Does he have his permit?
Yeah.
Is that the deal?
Oh no, imagine a little license with Murph's picture on it.
Also, he'd have to have such a small car. It's hard to figure out how he would fit in it.
Yeah.
I think maybe we're being towed behind.
Yeah.
Like, it's a small car, but it's heavy, so it's got like good traction and you can pull.
Right.
Like, a
It's
decent.
the tugboat
of
little
cars.
car pulling the two of you, just in 2 seats. Oh, well, thanks for being here, guys.
Thanks for having us.
You know, it's fun to have excuses to hang out with pals.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is great. We almost didn't make it to the taping of the actual episode because we just wanted to talk all night long.
And also there was a hat on a dog situation.
Yeah.
Check my Instagram for that.
I took the picture.
I took one
It's
too.
gonna be on my Instagram.
I posted
this
it faster.
Oh,
I know.
no.
Like,
I know.
like a
Wait, you already
mirror.
posted it?
Oh yeah.
Rhea!
Cameron.
I am so upset. I'm actually like genuinely upset and probably.
It's a big problem.
you know,
We
we're gonna-
understand.
You
Yes.
can get another angle. You have more followers than I do.
Yeah,
You know what?
that's
Can
why
I tell you
am
something?
Yes.
Can I tell you something,
Yes,
Cameron?
Yes.
I often find that posting second is better. Although Instagram's new algorithm is messing things up, but I find posting second is better because people see it first.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
I get
Wow.
it. Because
It's, mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're just copying me, Rhea.
Right.
In the future.
As always.
In the future.
So this is really fun because, Cameron, you are familiar with the series.
Yes, I am.
However, Rhea, this is the first episode you've ever sat and watched.
It's honestly the first time I've ever, from my recollection, that I've sat down and watched an entire episode. I am aware of it. I know the characters in it.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard synopsis of many episodes. I've just literally
from
never
me,
watched
though?
it.
I was going to say from
No,
Cameron.
from multiple people.
Oh.
You and other people.
Mm-hmm.
My
I'm just in a line of people.
no, my maid of honor is a huge Buffy fan. She was a huge Buffy fan. In fact, she lent me the box set and was like, "Look, you should watch this. You're probably not going to, but now you have no excuse." And then it just sat on my shelf until I went away to grad school.
Well, this show was really important to me when I was in high school, even though it was really scary to me and I could barely watch it. I still watched it because I
She's
like
scared of everything.
special effects a lot, and there's really cool special effects makeup in this, and everything is practical effects because, like, computer animation didn't really exist.
It's
yet.
1997.
Right.
And that's really cool. I also love stunting. You know, people that are stunting around and doing stunts.
Stunting
There's
around.
a lot of cool stunts in this television show. And there's also a lot of queerness throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
All characters, all situations. I think it's one of the first shows on television that really just showed like non-traditional relationships, whatever they might be.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of awesome to me.
So you watched this in high school, but you haven't seen it since.
I haven't seen it since. And I will say, watching this one episode, like, it's so weird that they are children. Like, it's so weird that they are young people.
Correct, because the last time you watched it, they were you.
They were me/older, because they're playing high schoolers, and I was really, in 1997, I was a freshman in high school. September, I probably wasn't watching this because I was going to high school for the first time and losing my mind, and so therefore not watching Buffy Vampire Slayer for like a minute while I lost my mind.
Why were you losing your mind in high school? Was your school built on top of a mystical convergence of evil?
Yeah, what was going on was that there was like all these people kind of escaping, and they had just like different sorts of heads, and sometimes like it's like their brow would get very heavy at a certain time, and then like a sort of a tooth would come out. No, for different reasons. I think just that I was a small gay person, and I went to a really conservative Catholic high school, and I was just trying to figure out how to do anything.
Did you feel like you had a secret identity that you couldn't share with your peers?
Absolutely. Well, I didn't know I was gay, but I did know that like this show really meant something to me. I would watch this show with my boyfriend. My boyfriend would watch this show with me. He was a very patient boyfriend.
Yes.
This episode is also about like a high school football player. My boyfriend
Which was
a high
your
school
boyfriend?
football player. And I did turn to Rhea during the middle of the episode when there's like a mom who rattles off the stats of the football player. I'll tell you when we get to that part in the podcast, but his stats are like not that great.
Wow.
So funny what a perfect overlap of stuff that I'm not into or wasn't into in this episode, because you were like very into the show. I wasn't into it, not on purpose. And then I hated football. So
why?
there you go.
Like, were you more into other sports at the time?
When I was in high school, I was like anti-sports. I was really into basketball, like playing it, and then I quit the team because for whatever reason, I was getting benched, and I thought I was a better player on the team. And so then I decided to go all in skateboarding and was like punk rock and
the
an
other
artist.
football.
And
Here's what's going on. Rhea was like a bad boy, and I was the high school mascot. We were exactly opposite people.
Wow.
But I was really
like,
nice.
I didn't go to any games until my senior year because then I felt like, I should maybe go to this. But I just like wasn't into it at all.
And I planned every single dance.
Also, were you
And decorated
actually
the-
the high school mascot?
Yeah, I was.
Right.
Yes.
Because you said it, but I feel like if they're
What?
listening, like
Right.
people listening might think you were
Yeah, no, I was a
being, like,
red bird. I'm not being funny. I was a red wing, which is a red bird. But I mean, I also like played. I was a 3-sport athlete. I also like decorated the gym for all the school dances. I was like on student government.
And
I was
then
the president
cleaned up
of the
the gym.
Spirit Club.
That's weird.
Which means that I ran the flag back and forth when my boyfriend scored a touchdown. Like, you know the person that runs a giant flag?
So wait, you
No.
ran the flag
That is
and you were the mascot? Those
Well,
are two different
the
jobs.
mascot didn't always travel to away games.
So then you did
So then I
because
was
you
just
had
myself.
the flag?
That's
oh my
right.
God.
But
I
how
didn't
could
know
you be a
this
3-sport athlete and also be the mascot? Like, did you have
Friday
to?
You're
night.
gay
do
and you're not
double
having any
duty?
sex. And so you have so much time. You have so much time.
But like, what is the actual time management of that? Does that mean the mascot just doesn't go to women's sports? Is that the deal?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Because
exactly
that'd be
right.
silly.
Wait,
No,
Jenny,
I
what are
no,
you talking
all-
about?
Yes,
I know, I know, I
Jenny,
know,
that's
I
a
know.
great question.
The
No,
mascot
it's
doesn't go to
only
women's
for
sports.
men's basketball.
Only for real sports.
And
football.
Okay,
The
yeah,
sports
the
that people
real
care
sports.
about.
Women's basketball, which I played, has no mascot.
Wow.
And sometimes the games are at 5 p.m.
That's totally true.
Wow. Wow. Great
On
job.
a Tuesday.
Yeah, so I was.
You know what it sounds like we're talking about? The patriarchy.
It sounds like
Oh, the
patriarchy.
patriarchy.
Yeah.
Oh, I had it marked for later.
And it happens so easily.
Yeah.
Well,
So
also, I was
fast.
a swimmer during football season, right? Because they both have
And
it in the
I don't know
fall.
how to swim.
And swim. That's true. She doesn't know.
I don't. Well, I thought I did.
really are like
Safe.
the inverses of each
I
other.
Totally
thought I
different,
did, and
totally
then we
opposite.
went on vacation with each other, which is, in all honesty, the first time I ever went on vacation. And we went to Palm Springs, and we got in the pool, and Cameron was like, "Oh, sweetie, you don't know how to swim." And I was like, "I thought I did." I mean, I can like, I don't even know if you could call it a dog paddle.
But
what
you
I
can
did.
like stay afloat.
kind of, yeah. I don't really like the deep end because I could drown.
Well, not
And
with
then one
Cameron
time,
around.
Cameron, no, but
was a
Cameron-
lifeguard.
Yeah.
I started drowning in Hawaii, and she was like, "Oh, stop! You're not drowning." And I was like, "That's kind of the
No.
definition of drowning is I can't stop it."
After the fact, she was like, "Remember when I just drowned?" And I said, "You didn't. You didn't
If you
drown
drowned, you'd be
because-
dead."
Yeah, we wouldn't be having this
I
conversation."
did. That's not the
and
bone
she
you
said,
were picking.
"I was saying I'm drowning. I'm drowning," and I said, "Right, which means you're not drowning. Because if you're drowning,
You're not saying.
Sorry, I
Anyway,
meant
sorry.
to call out. I'm pre-drowning. I'm pre-drowning. I apologize. I didn't have the presence of mind because I thought I was about to die. Because I cannot swim.
Oh.
Anyway,
I'm glad you survived.
Me too. Glad I lived to tell the tale.
So Rhea, what are your thoughts on your first episode of
On the
Buffy the
episode?
Vampire? Yeah, I mean, how did it feel for you?
I
knowing
thought
nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really funny, and it was really enjoyable seeing all those clothes again. Man, were those some billowy shirts, and like unbuttoned, like so far down, top 3 buttons down.
Angel went real far down with his buttons in this episode. Also, I have a costume note for later in the episode, but since we're talking about dress, I'll bring it up now. When they go to the football game, I don't know if anybody else noticed Jenny Calendar's belt.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It was very special. I actually drew a picture in my notes.
oh, I would like to see the
Lest
picture.
I forget.
Yeah.
It's,
It also looks like something you could maybe hang a plant with, you know,
Yeah.
that hangs from the ceiling in the 70s.
You know
This is
what,
my
though?
picture.
Seeing, oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. Circles and lines.
Well, Rhea, it was fun to watch you laugh at it. And I remembered, because before we watched, I was like, it's really funny. Like, it is kind of a comedy. And I was realizing that, like, before Gilmore Girls, this is the show that everybody talked about in terms of its writing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it really set the stage for that. What was before this show? Can you guys think of it? What would it have been before this?
Like, what was the big...
No, because Friends doesn't really do that thing. The thing that this show does so well that then people loved about Gilmore Girls is that half the jokes are not delivered with any sort of weight, and you're just supposed to, like, kind of keep moving.
Right.
And
yeah, they're almost like the transition.
It was fun to watch
between
that
things.
again. Yeah.
The joke. It's like they say the joke and then they're like anyway, on to the next.
The camera
point.
doesn't even stay on them or whatever.
Yeah.
It's
cool. What year did West Wing start?
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. That's similar. Yeah.
Walk and
I
Talk.
have no idea when that started.
I'm going to stand by my friend's statement that it's like an ensemble of a bunch of people talking to each other, even though they're just in one room. It was faster than a traditional multicam. Okay.
Oh, yeah, faster than a traditional multicam. Totally. Hard agree.
You guys know more about making TV than we do.
I couldn't stop looking at the lighting. There was like something very early on. I was like, her whole face is in shadow. Like, all she has to do is lean forward.
Yo, there's a
I
lot
can't stop looking
of
at
that.
lighting.
Like, it's definitely like in every episode.
Yeah.
And inconsistent. Like, nobody is getting, I don't know, maybe you would know. I mean, things are just not consistently lit.
Yeah.
People are not consistently lit. People are in shadow. Also, this is deliberate. That doesn't feel as deliberate, but like,
yeah.
A lot of the time when you see Angel, it's through light that's coming through Venetian or
mini blinds.
No, mini blinds, horizontal, like tiny blinds. There's a lot of that.
Someone wrote into us, actually, we never said this on the show, but somebody wrote into us because we had a whole thing where we talked about that angel lighting that was just like slatted lines of light. And somebody wrote in and said, I think maybe that lighting decision was made because it shows the lightness and the dark that is Angel.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So
yeah. Oh, that's really serious.
There you go.
Okay.
Plus, it's flattering on everybody. You know what I mean? It's a good look.
Slatted lighting.
It's good look. It's flattering on everybody.
On everybody.
Well, they also did so much. They did so many night shoots on this show. I don't know. They're not in a soundstage. Can I ask you a question? Are they in a soundstage that looks like a cemetery and it's also...
It's very possible.
Is that
I
what
think
you think?
after
Yes.
season
I agree with
one,
you too.
they
Yeah.
built a soundstage.
So the
cemetery.
So everything, nothing is practically shot. Nothing is like.
I mean, the
out.
football thing was.
Yeah,
and externals of the high school. That's Torrance High School.
Yeah. So they would have to do those night shoots, but I feel like,
They must have had a crazy schedule. Anyway, we can keep going, but it's crazy to watch this show. This is like a really
we can't stop like
intense
thinking
operation.
about oh my god, how did they block shoot this?
Make it.
Well, that's what, at one point, I think you, Rhea, were like, well, it must have cost so much to shoot this scene. Like, and I was like,
do you know how much those
sure,
extras
yeah.
cost? I mean, and to make them play football, like that's a lot of insurance to have those guys playing football.
It was cool to like have your mind though in that sense, because I just watched it and I'm like, right, and now they play football. Like, it doesn't occur to me that that would cost a lot of money or but so Cameron, this episode scared you. I'm sorry that you got scared.
Well, I just found it was real spooky and creepy.
She gets scared by like piano music.
I was. That's true. I got less scared later, but my number one biggest fear is in television and film is when something comes up behind, and that happened 2 very solid times in this show where it's like super slow. Like a slow,
and it does like the
entrance.
camera coming up behind where you know
Dislike.
something is.
Do not like it. It's super spooked.
Well, we learned. I mean, the opening scene of this, we learned that that Buffy knows how to yo-yo, which I felt was an important point that I wanted to bring up.
It also was like, oh, that's what we did when we didn't have phones.
Yeah,
we yo-yoed on gravestones.
Well, maybe
did you yo-yo?
Yeah, for sure.
Could you like actually yo-yo?
I could do like a few tricks.
Wow.
Did
what
you
about
do Cat's Cradle or what?
Yeah, Cat's Cradle around the world.
I
Walked
can
up.
do that. Yeah.
Really?
I always
from the
thought I
past,
could walk
not
the dog,
now.
but I was
Not
just
now, but
throwing it on the ground.
I was excited if I got it to come back up.
Oh, yeah.
That was my yo-yoing abilities in high school. I did have a I mean, people fucking had yo-yos.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
This
Just
is
keep it in your
incredible.
backpack
Like,
with
you
your
buy
hacky
it
sack.
and be like, is this gonna be the thing that people remember me for? No, that's not it. Just like headphones, you know,
Harmonica.
like headphones used to be a very unique characteristic, but now like everybody wears them.
Right, right.
I also will say that in that opening shot, I was immediately struck by Sarah Michelle Gellar's bod because she has a really short skirt on. And she looks like a human woman. I just want to point out that sometimes when you watch television now, some bods have gotten so toned up that some teens look like they're 35 and have really specific personal training regimens. And it's like really interesting to see her in this show because she obviously is like beautiful and a TV star, but she also looked kind of normal.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the characters in the show, I mean, I think in the 90s, you could be more of a person on television.
It's cool to see it.
Yeah.
Like Willow is like standing sideways at one point and you realize that she's like pretty flat chested because she's like a really young woman who, and like, oh, they didn't make her wear a really bonkers
a
bra.
set
Like they didn't make her wear anything.
Right,
Here, put on these boobs.
So I don't know. Those are just
You
like
guys,
very
is that
small...
a thing that happens here in Hollywood?
Well, I feel like I don't know, but I feel like right when you're watching TV, right? Do people look like that to you guys? No.
What? Sorry,
people,
Murph moved.
No.
Do people look like that to you guys
don't
now?
think
I
so.
feel like it's
No,
a
on
deliberate
TV,
choice.
absolutely not.
It's like you could find it on cool cable shows or streaming shows. There's different types of bodies, and that's very like leaned into.
Right.
But on like a network show, anyway.
Also, I had a
Right,
note
right.
about her skirt because she's doing serious fighting.
Yeah, and she has platform sandals on.
Those sandals are highly
Like
impractical for
2-inch
slaying.
platform sandals.
But she never really cares about that, guys.
She doesn't even have to think about it.
No.
She does pull her, like, I feel like she pulls her, like, or checks her skirt after she falls into the open grave to make
Which
sure
is-
that
Oh,
she
yeah.
has landed safely.
Just to check it off our list, because last week we were like, hey, there's new stuff in the credits.
Oh, yeah.
This is the moment
when
where
she
we
pops
see
her head back up.
where she pops her head out of the grave comes from episode 2. We just saw it for the first time.
Oh, it's pretty great.
And then we go to the credits.
You don't want to talk about how Buffy and Angel got in a big fight about Xander?
Oh, yeah, right. Well,
I know you're like over this, but I just
know,
at least for later resolution.
We're like halfway done writing the song, and Jenny keeps trying to put lyrics in about like Angel and Buffy and like their tension, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's not a thing.
I'm invested in their tension as well, but
thank you.
Also, I will say, this dang show and every other dang show that had like set so many high school characters. I know Angel's not high school age. Had so many characters that are like mad at each other for talking to other people. Is that something that actually happens to anybody?
What happened in the last episode
they, like,
actually
danced up on each other?
So Buffy died.
Yes.
And then
that was two
episodes ago.
Right.
And then she like got CPR'd and came back to life and defeated the Master, who was like the head vampire in last season. And she came back after summer vacation with a lot of unresolved trauma. And she was acting out a lot. And one of the ways that she acted out was to do a very sexy dance with Xander at the Bronze while Chibo Mato played Sugar Water. And Angel looked on in a huff.
Yeah. So we're just coming off of the huff.
Okay.
So like nothing happened except for sexy dancing?
Nothing happened.
Yeah,
just
but like
a sexy
deliberately cruel sexy dancing.
I think that Angel needs to take a deep breath.
Well, he is 241.
I think like
exactly.
I think maybe just I don't know, pull her aside and have like a real conversation.
Yeah, right.
If some like just fun sexy dancing pisses you off, what have you been doing for 240 years?
Like
I
being
mean, like what other experiences have you had that
I think
can still bother you?
The bulk of his experiences have been like pillaging, like a lot of slaughter, and then after he was re-ensouled, he's been like sort of working through his own trauma, recovering from the fact that he now cares about every life that he took.
Feelings about it.
I know.
This is the first time we actually learned how old Angel was, right?
I think so. I think
241.
Question:
So,
how
yes.
do you talk to an angel?
Wow, that's a
hold her
90s
close?
crossover.
Yeah.
That's a crossover episode.
Oh, the 90210 high school also
Is that high
Torrance
school?
High
No
School.
way.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought it felt similar. It felt familiar.
Same exact high school. I have written down a thing that I don't remember what I wrote it for, but I just wrote Jenny Calendar. Oh, flirt practice. We see Giles.
Yeah, Giles is practicing on a chair.
Practicing flirting. I didn't understand.
It's all very Clint Eastwood.
I was gonna make the same joke, but I waited for you to make it.
That was so nice. Unlike
you can make it later, and people will see it in their feed
That's
first.
right.
Yeah,
I think.
exactly.
But I just wonder, because I know that Giles is like not just the teacher, he's the watcher, and they have like a deeper relationship with him or whatever. But I was very confused about the way that Buffy and Xander and all of them interacted with Giles having a crush on Jenny Calendar. I just feel like I would never have a conversation like that with my teacher or my watcher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or my
literally
watcher.
never had that conversation with somebody that's older than me.
Yeah.
So, but is the part of their dynamic supposed to be that like he's in charge of all the practical stuff, but he doesn't have like any of the intangibles? Right?
Yes.
Like that's what the Scooby Gang does, is that they are like, this is other stuff that you should care about, like food, washing
computer
your body.
hacking,
like, yeah,
Washing your body?
like,
I don't. Nobody's washed their bodies
know,
yet that we've
the
seen.
lesson
He's
we
supposed
learned
to be
from
really-
Scooby-Doo. Hey, gang, don't forget to take a shower.
So that's why they're comfortable doing it, because
Yeah, they're
that's the
spending like
dynamic.
all their time together.
I know. I still felt embarrassed about the whole thing. I was like, you guys,
Well,
you're
was it
supposed to
because
talk
was it
about
because
this.
the advice was bad?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it was because Giles was so embarrassed, who I love, by the way. I love Giles's crush on Jenny Calendar. I really do.
Yeah. Peak Giles. So
fumbly,
foppish.
dropping all
Giles.
the papers off the table.
What was that? Did you say
really
second date?
What has he done since then? Anthony Michael Head. That's his name, right?
Anthony Stewart Head. Anthony Michael
Michael Hall.
I got this Anthony in the head.
And
Yeah.
Thomas
Michael
Michael Stewart Head.
What has he done since this?
Great question.
We know he did a Taster's Choice commercial before.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what he got
yes.
picked up from, right? That
Yeah.
Taster's Choice
Yeah.
series.
Are you looking it up? What he's done?
I
since?
just trust
Yeah.
him so much, and I really
He's very.
just trust him so
I
much.
don't know why that was so funny to me. I just trust him so
He
much.
has the vibe.
I'd give him my
He's-
Taster's Choice anytime.
He's very.
Let's see.
Very dadly. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very calming. Well, while you look up Giles's.
Oh my god, he's in
trajectory-
Imagine Me and You.
What?
The movie, the other
Oh,
movie
yeah, yes,
where
he's her
Piper
dad.
Perabo kisses a girl.
Oh,
The other.
I
movie
knew
where
that I
Piper
had seen
Perabo
him in
kisses a-
something.
Oh my god, Sir. Oh my god, where
He's
Piper
also
Perabo
the Falcon.
kisses
Cersei Lannister.
Whoa.
That's what happens in that movie. And Giles is Cersei
Yeah, wait,
Lannister's
did you?
dad.
Yes,
yeah.
did you forget that? Yes.
I did. I forgot it.
Yeah,
We have to rewatch this.
And
this
she
film.
she dumps Osmandius for
Yeah, she does.
Spoiler alert for those
Cersei
of you who haven't
Lannister.
seen
Wow,
Imagine
wow.
Me and You.
It,
Wow.
How old is that movie? 20. It's 20 years old now.
yeah, yeah.
2005?
Yeah, 20 years old.
But every day a new lesbian is born.
Yeah,
you know?
true.
They're just catching up. They
Yeah,
have a lot
True,
to
we
watch.
only get like 5 movies. So Rhea, don't say
Every
which
century.
lesbian leaves a guy to be with a woman.
Yeah.
Which movie? Just know
I mean,
that it
I feel
happens
like
in
it's
all.
pretty obvious that the comedy that's rated PG, Imagine Me and You, is going to end up happy. Anyway.
Okay. So wait. So where are we even in that?
Giles is practicing on a chair.
Giles is practicing on a chair, and then Cordelia enters.
Right.
I mean, like, whatever. They have their Giles thing. But then we go to the science fair.
Right. And she's all tomato, fruit, or vegetable.
Right.
Great question.
Great question. Also, Cordelia and Willow are kind of wearing the same outfit, but in, like, the Cordelia shape and the Willow shape.
That I missed. What did it look like?
It's just, like, the patterns of, like, Willow's shirt and Cordelia's dress are almost identical, but it's, like, a flowy lady dress and then, like,
Right.
a nerdy collar.
Oh, and they both kind of look like 70s wallpaper?
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Very
That's
70s
true.
wallpaper.
I was really happy to see Willow show up because I had a huge thing for her in high school, and I remember going and asking for her haircut, and then seeing it now, I realized that she doesn't have a haircut.
Yeah, she just has
You were
hair.
asking for something else, but you didn't know how to ask for it, so you just said haircut.
Can you give me It's like Willow's haircut. What does it look like? It goes straight down.
It does nothing.
It goes straight down and
it's the
its
length
hair.
that my hair currently
Anyway.
is.
It is very shiny, though. It is
She
very
does have
shiny
really
and
Herbal
shiny
essences.
hair.
probably,
Yeah,
I
that's
guess.
some shampoo
she
commercial hair.
predates herbal essences. Herbal essence or herbal essences?
Remember how their
Herbals
ad
essence.
campaign
Yeah.
was
They're
just people having shower gasms?
Yeah, they're just orgasms.
Female pleasure.
It's back.
Yeah.
It's back in the shower. Well, no, the
I was like-
shampoo is back.
Oh, not
Not the orgasms, no.
Of course.
Never.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's back. It's
We had
like
that one
grocery
brief
stores.
moment.
Yeah. It's a good 2 years.
So they're at the science fair, right? And then creepy Eric comes with his camera. Yeah, it's so creepy though. Like
Yeah,
I know
he's
that
really
like
gross.
shit gets creepier.
The wink
but
in particular?
That kid was in a lot of stuff.
Really?
He was.
Yeah.
Really? What
I don't know
else
who
was
that-
he in?
I don't know, but
Was he
like,
creepy and everything?
I mean,
kinda-
definitely. I will
he was
also
like
say
on Boy Meets World or something.
that that situation of him showing up and just taking pictures of women without their permission,
Right.
is such a funny, like, I can't tell if the show was trying to comment on it moment where they were like, oh, it's fine, he's harmless, and I'm like, no.
But I feel, because since it was the second time we had watched the episode and I knew what was coming next, like I knew that these were the guys that were totally violating lots of women all the time. I was like, oh, this seems like super intentional and kind of cool because I feel like they went out of their way to show that like Cordelia and Willow and Buffy were all like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
Yeah, that's
nobody
true.
said you could take our fucking picture. It was a whole thing.
He was in Free Willy in the
Oh my
Wonder
God.
Years, and he was also in Inglourious Bastards.
Wow. The Wonder Years.
Glorious
I love that show. Speaking, are we allowed to say the patriarchy more than once?
I think we might be able to say it 4 times.
Oh, because there's 4 of us.
Yeah.
I've taken 2 already, but that one didn't count. This is the
That
second
was a
one.
question, yeah.
I was
Murph is
asking.
asleep, nose down.
Just
Like,
he is
he has passed out
into the
face
chair.
first on the chair.
Well,
Anyway,
we'll make
keep
sure
going. I
to
just
show you
wanted to make
pictures
sure
of.
to
Oh,
tell you
it's
about
been
that.
well documented. Every time I say anything, everyone else in the room just continues to take Murph and my picture. Well, so I think new patriarchy moment here is we go to the graveyard, and I just want to know what everyone thinks of this because it's Buffy and Willow, and they're just sitting by the grave, and Giles and Xander are digging the grave, and Xander's like, if the femmes could pick up a shovel and like help us out here or whatever. And so on the one hand, the scene is set up where the women are doing nothing and the men are digging. But on the other hand, Buffy is like, sorry, this is the role of women. You wanted it this way, so here I fucking sit. So I'm just wondering thoughts from the group on if this is like upending or doing bad things.
I have a very hard time finding anything in this show, like being that offended by almost anything in this show, only because I've seen so much of it. And I know the intention of the whole thing is, and especially at the time, just the idea that they were putting a woman kicking people in the face on television. I mean, Xena was on like at the same time, I think. So there were like a couple of shows where it was like women are kicking faces. But what's especially great about this show is that there's no victim because like literally the vampires disappear after she stakes them in the heart. So it's like, it's very satisfying. And there's also like no sadness to be had because they're like terrible demons. And so, yeah, I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
And usually I'm extremely like hyper vigilant and have a problem with everything.
Well, but there's that other end of it, you know? It's like, is it if you're saying, I'm going to sit here and do my nails because that's what you said I was going to do, so now you shovel the grave? You know what I mean? Right?
And it's the way she's saying it too and her delivery and how much you know she really does do for the whole team.
Exactly.
Yeah. Also, if the point of feminism is to create the space in women's lives for them to choose what they want to do, and a big part of that, like recently, right, a big part of what's been talked about around that is like it's also, a woman's choice if she doesn't want to work. No. There's probably a better way to say all of that. But, feminism here is like doing the work to make space for Buffy to make the choice of whether or not she participates in exhuming a potential body.
Right. And then she jumps in as the only one that'll open the casket anyway. So
yeah.
there's that. But
Yo, so then Cordelia's in the parking lot, and listen, we have to talk about it, okay? Because first of all, she's like, we really have to practice our cheer, otherwise no one's going to be led by them at the game. And listen, you weren't here for season 1, episode 3, when we first met the Sunnydale cheerleaders, but their only cheer is go, Sunnydale, go. Go, Sunnydale, go. Go, Sunnydale, go. 6, 7, 8. Repeat.
They say 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that cheer appears here. I think they say Razorbacks now instead of Sunnydale.
They accidentally say Greenbacks, which is weird.
A real mystery, but they're supposed to be saying
Razorbacks.
Within this universe, they're supposed to be saying Razorbacks, and we hear it later
Go,
at the football
dollar
game.
bills, go.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I want to talk about the cheers too, but I also want to just know for a second how many people in this room had those sneakers that Cordelia was wearing. They were the white Adidas sneakers with the 3 stripes on the side.
I didn't have them, but of course,
were they shell toes?
Yeah,
the shell toes. Oh yeah, I had a pair of shell toes.
I feel like
in
you
high
still
school.
have some.
I don't have any shell toes.
She
Get out of
does.
here with that.
I think she's got some.
I don't own a pair of shell toes.
No, yeah.
Jenny
I can't stand them.
Jenny had a pair of shell toes that she did not wear forever, and I finally let them go.
R.I.P.
But like very recently.
Oh man,
you didn't have shell toes?
I can't wear shell toes.
That surprises me.
No, I wore like
Sambas,
Steve Madden,
if anything.
Oh, I did wear Sambas.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yeah,
Sambas are basically. I mean, they're related. They're in the same family.
That's a great.
You were like, I would never wear shell toes. Oh, I totally had Sambas. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
that's a different thing. They're built for speed.
I also had Docs.
Yeah,
you guys, Docs.
Well, yeah.
I had Docs. When I was a freshman, I had like platform Steve Martin loafers
Steve Martin.
with like. And
By
then
the way,
I also wore knee socks and a skirt every day to school. By the time I was a senior, I wore white steel-toed platform lace-up like
which you still
Doc
have.
Martens that were like illegal. Like they were like
illegal.
They were illegal at your school.
Illegal in Catholic school.
Yeah,
not dress code.
I just want to make sure that you know that you said Steve Martin and not Steve Madden.
I wore Steve Martin's shoes.
They were grossly oversized.
I wore Steve Martin's shoes and I killed him. When I wore shoes. No, I did say Steve Madden. I did say Steve Martin. You're right.
Yeah,
because that's how long it's been since I've worn any of those shoes. I forgot what they're called, and I thought they were a movie star.
I want everyone to see some pictures of you in that phase of time.
It's the best.
You know,
it's the best.
Really special.
It's the best.
Yeah, do you have any? I've only seen you as a businesswoman.
Yeah, I was
in your teens.
Yeah,
I've got so many great photos. I have to go do like an expedition to my parents' house.
I gotta get mine too, and we gotta like get our high school pictures together. You say all the time that we would have like dated each other.
Do you mean get our pictures together? You mean like take one picture of you, one picture of me, put them on top of each other, rub them back and forth?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
See what your baby would look like.
Of course, that's what I mean.
Wham, wham, wham.
Wham, wham, wham. That's what I mean, yeah.
Support for today's episode comes from OneSkin. And if you have sensitive skin, you're going to want to hear about their scientifically proven topical supplements. Free from over 1,500 chemicals and preservatives that can make skin red, irritated, or itchy, their products are safe for sensitive skin. It's just one of the reasons they've earned the Skin Safe seal of approval.
They've also earned the Jenny Owen Youngs and Kristen Russo seal of approval, if I do say so myself, Jenny.
I couldn't agree more. I've been using OneSkin for a few months, and after a few weeks, I remember it like it was yesterday. I texted Kristen, and I was like, maybe she's born with it. I looked in the mirror that morning and was like, oh, things are happening, and I am happy.
I have used a million billion skin products, and I did not think that I was going to switch off of the skin like lotion, the moisturizer that I used and the under eye cream that I use, because I have used them for a little while and I really like them. And I've switched completely, which is a pretty big deal. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started today with 15% off using code BUFFERING at oneskin.co. That's 15% off at oneskin.co with code BUFFERING. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, and if you can, please tell them that we sent you.
As a podcast network, our focus is bringing you shows you love to listen to. But we also sell merch related to those shows. And partnering with Shopify has made that both possible and simple for us to do. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor adventures, Shopify helps you sell everywhere because they've got you covered from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. What's so fantastic about Shopify is how, no matter how big you want to grow, they provide everything you need to get control of your business so you can take it to the next level. Businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm. That's all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/realm.
Okay, so Cordelia in her shell tops hides in the dumpster 'cause she's afraid. It turns out it's just Angel who thinks that it was Buffy that he saw, which is weird.
What is he even there?
Like
what is he
also
seeing?
he has
like he's
lame
lying.
shoes.
Also, I don't remember, how does Buffy meet Angel?
He just appears. He just follows her one day
And, like, gives her
down
a
an
cross
alley,
necklace.
and he's like,
And it's like-
the Hellmouth is a thing. What is it? The
the
harvest.
What is he supposed to do?
He's
He's
pops
fighting.
up? He
He's
just
fighting
pops
for
up?
good.
He's on Bones.
You know, he's like trying to atone for a couple hundred years of killing people, right?
But like the reason he'd be at the high school is there's no reason?
Well, it's where the Hellmouth is.
It's where
and
the
it's where
Hellmouth is.
Slayer
Fair
is.
point. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
That's
so
kind of
he's
the-
like sticking around to like help sleuth. And
Okay.
he usually guides Buffy. I mean, from what we've seen so far, he'll be like, "Hey, this thing is happening. Just so you know, they're gathering. So like, heads up on that." That's kind of his.
a lot of that.
I said it as we were watching, but his haircut.
Yes.
Is his last name Boreanaz? Is that how you say his name?
Boreanaz. I think,
Boreanaz.
right?
David Boreanaz. His haircut is. Why is that his haircut?
Also, only he could have that haircut.
How did it
Like, it's
happen?
very specific to his specific
It's
head.
going
Yeah.
down and up, and it meets in the middle as sort of a crest.
I think it's all he can do. It's just like,
I do not believe it.
I think
It
he's
doesn't
like an
look that
owl
wild
man.
on Bones. It looks kind of normal.
What are you talking about? That's exactly what it looks like.
His hair still looks like that?
Yeah.
I feel like it's
His hair goes
shorter
down
and more
and
like
up?
adult. Than,
Well,
than
Jenny
it was
has a
in
theory
Buffy.
on why his hair looks like this.
I mean, in the universe of the show,
Yes.
my theory is he's a vampire. He can't see his reflection. So he's trying something, but he has no way of knowing what the result is.
What's really funny about that is like, I think I always thought like maybe that a vampire can't see their reflection, but they can just see hair.
What? Like their skin they can't see,
Just
but
a
their hair is an
floating hair.
extension of
Why? What is the logic?
Did you just realize that was your thought? Like it didn't.
Yeah, and I think it's really funny.
Oh my
Imagine a
god.
little floating haircut, and then I guess the question is, can you see right through?
Also, wouldn't you be able to see your clothing in your reflection?
Like the Hollow
That's
Man?
what I think.
Right?
I think. You
Oh,
can
it,
see
yeah.
your
Like, how
clothes
does it
and
become
your hair.
invisible?
Oh, when it touches,
touches
you?
your-
That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, I see like where you're at, but we can't know. I think is the thing.
Yeah, there's no answer, but just posing a question to the masses, yeah? The two of you, the way your faces look when Murph does something that you like is the sweetest
I
thing.
don't know where he's going.
The
I'm so
proudest
sure where he thinks
parents
he's going.
in all the land.
He's got a lot of
Just like,
exploring
Murph,
to do,
you
and
go-
now he's
yeah,
ready to
you had
lay
to
down.
go
and
Murph
check
go.
just
it
wanted
out.
to make sure this was the best seat in the house.
Yeah.
Is this
the softest
warmest place? Yes, it is.
It is. Oh, no.
I'm
my
back.
God.
He's back.
Okay. Listen, should I even keep going through my points?
Yes,
Should I?
you're the
There's
guiding light we need.
Oh, boy.
Well, like, can we just talk about his dumb face when he like pops up when she's coming out of the dumpster?
Yeah.
What is the direction? He's like got this big goofy smile on his face
I
on the
don't
side
know.
shot, and then when it's like sort of like the camera's directly facing him, he's still kind of smiling in like this like friendly way that doesn't make any sense, and like he's answering Cordelia's questions about why he was following her in like a very obtuse way.
Maybe it's just because Cordelia is so pretty.
That's a great point.
That
also,
is a
the
solid
men
point.
in the show are giant
So
compared to the women. Like
Well, Sarah Michelle Gellar's what, like 5 feet tall?
Guess she's super small. I mean, I don't know, but like
the last time I measured her,
also,
she was 5
all
feet.
of the dudes that are in this specific, I don't know,
are all like 6
I mean,
feet
Xander
tall.
and
They're
Angel
so
are
big.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course the zombie dude is also huge.
But even like Giles is pretty
yeah.
big. Like they're just, it's like,
Yeah.
it looks like a Disney movie where like Moana, like all the ads for Moana, where like Moana is so teeny, and then Maui, which is the character that's played by The Rock, is like 8 times her size, and you're like, well, I feel like in real life, men and women are kind of similar sizes. Not in this universe either.
No, yeah, they're huge. Jenny was talking last week too about how somehow, even though Angel is huge and Xander is huge, that when Angel is with Buffy, it seems to look more proportionate, and when Xander and Buffy stand next to each other,
Like when they're doing a sexy dance together,
yeah,
for
maybe
example,
that's why it looks so awkward.
it just looks wrong. He looks he looks like a bean.
I would like to give a special shout out to Cordelia for her scream. She has a few in the episode.
But the dumpster one is a real winner.
The dumpster, I actually, if I'm going to rank her screams, I actually think that the scream where she's on the table and she's like, I promise not to scream, and then she screams, actually wins out for me in my horror scream ranking. But she gets her first really good scream in the dumpster, and it like is paired with like a, you know, big motion. I know you couldn't see that, audience, but I was moving my hands to the side of my face. But yeah, Cordelia gets a good scream, and there's going to be a lot of moments for this, but like we have a lot to talk about, so I just want to make sure that we show our love for Cordelia. Okay.
Now's the time.
It's a great point.
Now's the time.
Cordelia, I love you, Cordelia. You're perfect, Cordelia.
Great. Okay. All right. What do you got, Jenny?
What do I have? I'm so glad you asked. We go to the library just after Angel has pulled Cordelia and a bunch of body parts out of a dumpster, right? Mm-hmm. And this is, I think, where we have no choice but to award the sexual tension trophy to Angel and Xander, because they're all Angel, Xander.
Right. They have a Rocky Horror Picture Show
Xander.
moment.
Exactly.
All
so
right.
if you're comfortable with that, I'd really like to give it to them.
I had written it down. I had written down the obvious answer, which was Giles and Jenny Calendar.
No.
But I defer.
Second place. So maybe Angel can pawn the trophy we just gave him and buy a new jacket, because that jacket is all wrong for his coloring.
Horrible.
It's not right.
Especially, but
really
are they trying to signal spring? Like, is that what season are we in?
I don't know.
Or maybe
I
because
don't
he's
know.
paired
There's a
with
lot of
Cordelia.
Yeah.
But if he's
they're trying to
gonna
make him look more like
get a new jacket, can he
Main
bring
Street.
Xander? Because Xander needs smaller clothes.
Xander's clothes are huge,
He
but do
needs
you
to go
remember the
down a
90s?
size.
I know, but it's like so funny to see
Xander is
it now.
basically who I'm talking about when I'm like, the clothes are huge.
Yeah.
It's like a lot, and then he's like putting a messenger bag on top of it.
Oh, that is
yeah.
like the classic.
Cinched
look.
across his
you
chest.
wore your clothes proportionally to you, the same size
No,
to him.
not in high school.
Did you have a messenger bag?
I did before that. Yeah, before that. In high school, I tried to, and I was like, I don't care about school. Why do I have a bag?
Right.
And then I
Yeah, this is a crazy.
straight
thing to
up,
say.
I never did homework. I don't know how. I honestly don't know how I graduated high school.
What were your did you
On,
get
like,
good grades, or
charm.
did you get not good
No,
grades?
I got terrible grades in high school. I did not care.
Okay.
I was like a smart kid. I did really well, and then I just stopped caring.
Right.
Well, it's because you didn't have anything to focus you, like
Parents,
vampires.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Right.
did one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Parents are
Parents
vampires.
are vampires. So we go to the Epps household for like 5 seconds, and we see Chris come out of his danger, do not enter door, and like say goodbye to his mom, who's just watching endless clips of Daryl play football and smoking cigarettes and not paying attention to anything. Very sad.
Yeah. Yeah, take
the
it
word
back.
sad.
You can't say it anymore.
Yeah, it's gone. We're not allowed to
from
use
us.
it anymore, right?
No, it's horrible.
Okay, it's really too bad.
There's a lot of words that have been taken from us.
That's true.
Yeah.
Also, the thumbs up. Can't really do that anymore.
God, Jesus.
Anyway.
The saddest part of the podcast
Sad.
was the collective sighs of all four of us.
So we finally get a look at what Chris and Eric have been working on, which is, of course, a bunch of pieces of lady corpses sewn together.
Lady corpses.
Cameron got so bummed out.
Yeah, Cameron, you were upset about this for a long part of the episode. Why does it have to be many women? Why do they have to be sewn together? Why couldn't anyone just date one woman that was just one woman?
It's kind of funny.
But he talks about it. He does answer the question. It just takes a long time for you to get to the answer.
What?
The reason why they're sewing the bodies together and not just using like one dead person that they're reanimating is because they want her to be just as terrifyingly undesirable as him.
So they'll hide
that
together,
they can
right.
fall in love because
Ew.
they both never want to go
So
outside.
here's my follow-up
Passengers?
to this.
Yeah.
Here's my follow-up to this. Okay, yeah, cheers. But like
No,
they're
don't
also
cheers it.
making it very difficult on themselves. Like just take one woman and then
Cut her
maybe
up.
She's a
Yeah,
reanimated
he's one
dead
guy.
thing.
He's one guy.
And
She's
he
gonna
has
be
all this
terrified.
unnecessary scarring, all of that
So much
face
time.
tissue.
what had
that's
happened to
They
his
dug
face
up
because he was
so
in
many.
a rock climbing
Rock
accident?
climbing.
Yeah.
How did his
Yeah.
face get so?
Yeah, he must have fallen
I
on his
also
face.
can I just say, and I apologize to point out something on a show that people love, but I always find it takes me out of it when there's like a death.
Frankenstein monster?
No, yeah. When there's vampire. No. When there's like multiple deaths at a high school and people are like, "What?" Like they didn't
Oh, it was
hear
a
about
different
it.
high school.
Oh, well,
But Daryl's playing for that team in
No,
all
it
the-
was Sunnydale High School.
Got
But
it.
here's the thing about
No,
Sunny...
the different high school where the girls went
Yes,
to.
the
That's, but you're
girls.
bringing up Daryl.
But yes, but also yes, okay. But I remember hearing about. I mean, like 3 girls get killed in a car accident in a neighboring high school. You're gonna know about it when it happens,
Unless you live on a hellmouth.
of course.
And people are dying
See,
all the
that's
time.
forgetting that.
Thing.
But I was saying globally, anything, any show that ever does this, it always takes me out of it. Like, come on, they don't need the microfiche to figure this out. They knew when it happened.
We I think the first episode of the whole series, there's like a dead guy in a locker that like falls out onto somebody else, and then like the next scene is them all, in the hallway or like outside, and they're like, yeah, they canceled gym, and like the first episode we were like, seriously, like that's it? There's
They
a
just
dead
canceled
person.
gym.
But then every episode,
If they closed school every time a high school student died, like they'd be in
they dropped like
full
flies
year
over
round.
there.
But there's no
classes.
like larger governmental.
No.
Police.
Sort
No,
of
police are never called.
No, it's a whole thing.
Never called.
Very strange.
We've actually
Like,
written
this
that
is
into
weird.
some of
It's
the
always
songs.
been figured out.
Sort of like an investigation of some kind about some sort of ring.
No,
seems
and
like
Buffy
it's
is always like breaking, like because police are never seen, but there are sometimes like caution tape or like things that,
Right.
and she's always like just pushing it aside or like going
Just
directly to the
walking right
crime
through it.
scene and like touching everything. It's Sunnydale High School, Yeah, but I also do hear you, Rhea.
Yeah, it's just like a funny. I noticed it in this, and then I was like, "This happens all the time." It's like this funny TV concept.
Yeah, because if a person dies in high school, it's a big
deal.
It's a big deal.
You know what else is a big deal?
What, Jenny?
Giles and Ms. Calendar are going to the big game,
Oh my
and
God.
it's a date. And also, Ms. Calendar says like one of my favorite jokes in the whole series, which is, "Please call me Jenny. Ms. Calendar is my father." What a great joke!
Yes.
I love it so
Yes.
much.
It's a great joke. Also, she's pretty hot.
She's. Do you know
The last person who sat in that chair and said that was Gabby Dunn.
Literally. She was like, she is so
makes
pretty.
sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Just look at her go.
She's
What
very.
does she teach?
She's a She's the computer lab teacher, and
Okay,
she's also
sorry.
a techno-pagan.
Oh, yeah, techno-pagan.
Earlier in the series, she helped them get a demon off of the internet that had been scanned in.
She's a lady who knows what's what. She knows how to work a computer.
She's
She knows
got
how
a-
to
loves
ask a guy
casting
out.
bones.
Hot belt.
Yes,
Yeah.
the hottest of all belts on Jenny Calendar.
And
Hang
she
a plant
loves
from that thing.
sports. She loves football because it's so rugged.
She had that whole she has like a whole monologue, not a monologue, but
about
like,
American sports.
yeah, where she's like, it doesn't have the
grace of basketball
or the poetry of baseball.
Do you relate to that? The
I do
poetry
relate
of
to that,
baseball?
actually. I was like, wow, that's pretty right on.
Yeah.
Is Jenny are you team Jenny Calendar?
Apparently, yeah, when it comes to sports.
But yeah, I love their whole. This is really it for them. I mean, this is a big episode for Giles and Jenny Calendar because they've just been like, stepping around the issue of liking each other.
Right,
and now they've gone on their first date.
Oh my God. Also his little victory hop.
Yes.
After he's like, that went well. I did nothing, but somehow we're still going on a date. Victory hop.
So great.
Really nice.
Also, I just loved how she poked her head back out of the classroom door. She was like, I have to go to class, but then she came back out anyway.
And she was like, not
Also,
really.
First date, and I'm gonna say something that just maybe the blandest food.
You mean don't go Mexican on the
Mexican?
first date?
I think don't Mexican. I would also say maybe no
just go get a hot
no
pretzel.
pasta with a ton of garlic. You know what I mean? Like
Just get yourself a mall hot pretzel.
Yeah, exactly. just a slice of bread, slice of toast.
I don't know.
Auntie Annie's, is that what it's
good.
called?
Yeah.
The pretzel
Yeah, but
place?
we had Hot Sam's where I was growing
That
up.
was your
Did you remember
pretzel?
that?
Sam?
Back in the 80s and early 90s.
I don't think so.
And
It predated Auntie M's. Auntie
I
M's is
don't
like a
think so.
new thing that people, when I was in high school, went and worked there and would bring us pretzels the next morning.
Yes.
And we would eat like disgusting, soggy,
Yuck.
just drop a soggy, wet bread bag on the table.
did you have pretzel time? Was that a thing that everybody had?
Oh,
Or was
yeah.
that-
Yeah.
Because I had friends that worked at Pretzel Time, but that's like
Well,
the
Pretzel
definition
Time and
of high
Hot
school.
Sam's are like the same company. And
Oh,
they just
really?
had different, I'm
Pretzel
pretty
time
sure.
and Hot Sam's.
Hot Sam's is a goddamn thing. And if you keep arguing with me on this, we're getting a divorce.
This is what's weird about this is that one of them is so obvious what it is. Pretzel time. The other one is like, what is this?
Yeah, but you know what I would say when I went to Hot Sam's? Do you know what this is?
I'll have a Hot Sam.
It's pretzel time.
Oh. I thought maybe they called the pretzels Hot Sam's.
That would make more sense.
Right? Then,
Sure.
I'd love a Hot Sam. But I had friends who worked at Pretzel Time, and since that day that they began working or telling me what they did at Pretzel Time, I don't think I have purchased a pretzel from a place like that because they were disgusting horrible high school students who would kill a fly with the pretzel and then wrap it up. And I know.
You guys, it's totally a thing.
Oh my God,
I put in
Hot
Hot Sam's
Sam's.
and pretzels auto-populated. So
Wow.
Well, I think
it's like a real thing.
Even
And I
the
used to
images
eat
that
it all
pop
the
up
time.
I
just
think
kind of look
Techno-Pagan
fake.
planted that on the internet.
Yes. Yo, so when we do get a look at Daryl, I just want to make a note.
This was the most traumatic moment for Cameron. The
It was
first
r-
look.
it was rough
Daryl's
for
first
Cameron.
look.
He was spooky at first. Yeah, I didn't like him very much.
Were you at all disturbed by his posture, which is just sort of like if whatever you would call like the central sort of oval if you were drawing a really simple human shape, his torso, I guess, is sort of like a couple inches ahead of the rest of his body. His legs are back.
Coming
and
in
his
early,
arms.
you mean?
Yeah, coming in. He kind of,
Getting
I don't know
there
if you
ahead
guys
of time.
watch New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest. But Fergie is always the Hollywood host, and she kind of stands the same way.
Does. She does. She really does. Oh God, I love her so much.
I walk like that. Which
Do you think you walk like Daryl?
not like Daryl, but I walk like
torso
I walk
first.
wrong. I because if I ever am walking a lot and then I look and I'm like, oh God, I look like I'm about to fall over.
That actor, God bless him. Because I say this, and it's gonna be kind of mean, but that person has that person has real wacky fingers. Did you
I
notice
did.
this?
I did. I didn't notice it the first time.
Yeah,
and this
yeah.
time I did.
Because I don't want to go too hard on Daryl,
Yeah.
because there's a real person behind that.
Yeah.
But that person has wacky fingers.
But how much
wacky
of that
fingers.
is like?
I don't think it's prosthetics. I think that's that person's fingers.
Yeah, they were like, we don't have to do anything.
Very big, very big,
and like short and square.
Very big.
Yeah,
very big hands. You know, there's a sport in my hometown of Chicago that's called 16-inch softball, where you have a really soft ball and no mitts, and you catch it with your hands.
Oh,
this guy's got some 16-inch softball hands, is what I would say. There's a certain type of guy who can catch those balls real easy.
Do you know what was... Sorry, I would love to keep talking about Daryl's hands forever, but the thing that occurred to me also watching this was why... So the mother is upstairs, and she's devastated. It's very depressing. It's very sad. She's just smoking cigarettes and watching, reliving. But why haven't they told her that Daryl's alive in the basement? I don't understand.
Great question.
She's a great candidate for fully accepting that.
Why
I
don't
agree.
they
She's
just
already
set
lost
the
it.
two of them up
Right?
on some couches and let them hang out,
They'd
watch
have
football?
a great life watching Daryl's best moments.
Yeah.
It's what Daryl wants. It's what she wants.
You're right.
Also,
I'm sorry
I
he
really
wants a
don't
date,
like basements, so
yeah.
I really don't like that she doesn't know he's down there.
Yeah.
I really don't like that.
Where do you think? Do you have a root for this? Like your basement fear? Did you have a
Basements?
scary basement? Like,
Don't you know what the root of all basement fears are? That that's where murdering happens. Are you kidding?
no, I'm not suggesting
The fact that you would even have to ask.
I'm not suggesting that basements aren't terrifying, but like you get especially scared, and like, have you just always gotten especially scared?
Yeah. I mean, I had a basement in my house, and I've just never been able to see my entire life very well, and so I think it was really spooky. But also, I don't know. Every show and TV and movie has very bad basements in it.
true.
Nothing good ever happens
Very
in the
bad
basement.
basements.
No, I mean that's like
Very
prime
bad basements.
Prime horror spot is a basement.
Dislike it a lot and can't even process it. And thank God in California almost somebody has basements.
When you go like when you travel, because you travel a lot and you're in a hotel room, do you have to check like under the bed and in the shower and stuff? Like,
Why wouldn't you check under the bed and in the shower?
I know
you have
do
to
it.
check
We're married.
for
I'm asking
bad
our
guys.
guests. What
Sorry,
they
it's
do.
just common fucking sense.
Definitely, I also check the closet.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Rhea? Do you check anything?
No, I don't check anything.
Yeah, me either.
But now,
Nobody
speaking
in
of
there?
which, I haven't
Well-
checked anywhere in your house.
Well, we're all here.
What an elaborate ruse for you to kill me.
That would be a great plot twist. I'm like, so do you normally check the closet?
I don't like it.
Sorry, how scared you get?
No, like seriously, I'm so scared. When I went to see Blair Witch with my high school boyfriend, we were driving home and he was trying to kiss me, and I was like, I just remember this moment where he was like trying to kiss me, and he looked out the window, and I was like, who's out there? The witch? The witch out there? I know you're in on it. And then I just got out of the car and went in my house.
Oh my god.
Also
were you
the
laboring
witch.
under the
witch?
the one? Were you laboring under the idea that
It was
that
real?
it was real? When you saw it, did you think maybe it was real?
Well, we all did, yeah, because the internet wasn't real.
Yeah.
Oh, Blair Witch, right? I was like, I forgot where we started, so
Yes.
I was like, what was real? The witch? What?
Yeah.
What did we think? What did we all think was real?
I thought but I also kind of thought everything was real.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of still do.
Also, I just want to say, like, I very much understand the fear. I'm really sorry that I looked directly at you and pretended like there was something in the closet, because that would freak me out. And last night, so my sister and I, we scare very easily and are very weird people. And last night, something happened with the TV. They were over our house, and the Apple TV rebooted. And because our actual television is from like 1970 or whatever, I don't know what happened, but a loud static just started happening, and my sister like jumped from the couch and like buried her entire head in my torso, and I was like with her. I like covered her ears and was like, it's okay, it was nice to have you as a sister. And Jenny and her boyfriend Brian were like, what is wrong with you? We were like 100% convinced that we were dying, and we were going to be killed.
Tensions are high these days.
Yeah.
Tensions are just a little high. Just a little stressed out. Hey, remember when kids used to hide under their desks? I feel like I don't know.
For real,
I feel like I'm just doing that all the time.
Yeah, that's our new life.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
this is. Sorry, I got excited. Not about it, but just like that we have people here who also hate the world. Because this is so. our episodes air on Wednesdays, and we're all feeling a lot of pressure building because we're getting closer and closer to this thing actually happening. And Jenny and I, we don't talk about politics or the world a lot directly on the podcast because we like to give people a place to escape these things. But that said, we have talked a little bit about how things like science fiction and a show like Buffy is really important and kind of takes on new meaning in times like this. So I don't know. I wonder, especially Cameron, because you have a relationship with the show and like with the genre, if there's anything, and Rhea, I don't mean to take you out of the question, but like if there are any touchstones for you guys that are like either helping you because they're like, fuck yeah, we can fight and we can win, or if they're just like taking you away and like letting you, breathe for a moment.
That's so great. Well, I stopped a couple of years ago. I stopped being able to watch action movies as much because
we both did.
Yeah,
because we used to have a podcast about it.
We used to have a podcast about action movies because we both love action and sci-fi movies. But then, as this is a very serious thing I'm going to say, but as gun violence started to become in the news constantly here in the U.S., I just felt like I could no longer contribute money to something that felt like I was watching things that really happen and real people get harmed. And it
was also difficult to be seeing these things in the news and being aware of what's going on and then watching this movie and it's happening.
It doesn't transport anymore.
Entertainment, and it wasn't feeling like it was, it was feeling like, oh, this is just silly entertainment. And I was like, I'm watching this happen to actual people every day.
Yeah, and so I have had this sort of hole in the things that I appreciate because I haven't found the right things often of late. And one thing that I really loved was The Force Awakens because it's such a hopeful story and it has a lot of great female characters. We also saw Rogue One, and I liked Rogue One less, but I think both of those movies and then the original 4 through 6 of Star Wars have been sort of giving me a little bit more hope is the word lately, because both on camera and off camera, we just watched the HBO documentary on Carrie Fisher's life last night and with her mom and
Debbie Reynolds,
and it's called Bright Lights. That's really inspiring because it's amazing to see what somebody can do with the focus that she got being in those movies. And then also what I think Star Wars is trying to do is celebrate peace and finding peace inside of yourself and finding peace inside of others. There is still violence, obviously, in these movies. And what I also love is that there are female characters. Some.
Yeah.
There's still only 7 in a universe of the universe.
But there's
there's some. But there's some.
Yeah.
So that's something that I've really found is helpful lately.
Yeah.
I also would recommend, a lot of people watched it right after everything. But the movie Arrival was really a really great science fiction story for getting along with people and what talking can do, understanding.
It's the same thing. It's really about peace.
It's really about the Force and understanding each other. And then also the movie Hidden Figures, which is not sci-fi, but it's about science.
It's just sci.
Yeah, exactly. It's
straight up sci,
non-fi.
Right.
And just seeing that, and something that there's a lot of things that struck me about that movie. Something else that I've been thinking too, because I was just thinking about it, and who it's about, and all of this, and obviously these women's stories weren't told for multiple reasons, but the fact that it's I didn't know anybody that was, I knew the astronauts because everybody cares about the astronauts, but I would never think, there were, these tons of black women doing this. It's so much easier. Your brain is trained to just think it's just a bunch of white dudes.
Totally.
And so, those stories are making me really happy because they are just telling a story. And I think that's what we need to do, is just tell each other stories and remind each other that, hey, we're all just people, and the things we're trying to talk about are just our experiences.
And that
in
we
our
were
lives.
there then. I mean, I'm not a black woman, but I'm a queer woman, and I feel like our history is erased, and it's nice to look back and see moments where there were people that we don't tell their stories.
Yeah.
Because it makes me think, oh, maybe I was there. Maybe there were people like me there.
Right. And the more that we hear and uncover it, it's like the more we know we were there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to know we are here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can still do that shit.
Mm-hmm. This show does that too. I mean, there's a lot of amazing female characters in this show. Not
You
a ton
mean
of
Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yeah, yeah. Not a ton of racial diversity,
No,
but they
no,
did cover a lot of
white
other
people
things.
in Sunnydale.
Yeah.
A lot.
Interesting, though, obviously, to 2017 standards, it doesn't hold up, but I am just saying, even though the show is all white people, there are people of color in the background, which is saying something that there are people, you know, because I've watched shows even like that are coming out now that it's all white people in the background, and it's very glaring, and you're like, how did this happen? What is this?
And we've seen a couple.
Did you?
We had was it last week that the head vampire? Was it last week?
Yeah, absolutely.
The head vampire was a black man, but not a lot.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
There's a little bit. There's a little bit. Well, thanks for sharing that. I know that wasn't super on episode, but on topic with Buffy. Yeah. I mean, I'm finding that this rewatch for us is really helping me too. It's just nice to see. You said something when she kicked. Oh, I think I wrote it down. Hold on. I wrote down a couple of Cameron quotes. Well, she has a whole fresh body, but that's we'll get to that.
Well, she does. Just use Cordelia.
You said something about
It's so weird to cut the head off and put it on the old thing.
Well, there was a really nice moment in a little while when Buffy catches a knife that Eric throws.
That's
and
the
Cameron
moment.
said,
"Oh, she's cool all the time." Yeah, there it is. She's
Which
cool
is
all
like,
the time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she is.
She is. She's
She
a
is
fighter.
cool all
She's
the
always
time.
kicking ass. And she's fallible, which makes her cool even cooler, you know?
Yeah.
That she like makes mistakes and she fucks up, but then she's still like, funk, get your knife, motherfucker.
Oh, and they're also real friends. Like episode is a bad example of that, but I love in other episodes that they also have like real friendships with each other and have like real high school problems, because I think that's also cool to see in this show. They could have just like skipped it and had them constantly fighting a zillion things, but
which really was this episode. It was kind of an anomaly to the rest of what we've seen so far. Usually there's more, I don't know,
dimensions.
Yeah,
maybe Giles got the
Giles really
got the B story.
That's true. Giles deserves a little love in his life.
He at least gets to sit next to a girl and talk to her for 5 seconds before Xander and Willow show up and start eating their popcorn.
Yes, I just want to backtrack for 1 second because I don't want to miss this moment. When Cordelia first gets kidnapped, like when they put the bag over her head and she's right, and I mean she doesn't get kidnapped. She gets bagged, and then Buffy saves her. And, you know, you're like, wow, Cordy, you just made it. And then she's like, I've got to go. I'm the apex.
Yeah. You know? Right, of the midfield pyramid.
She just totally shakes it off and is like, gotta go.
Gotta go.
There's just like a pile of...
And so then I guess what does happen to that pyramid?
Yeah, then the pyramid, right?
So we never find out.
We don't know.
And that's
it's
really
just got a flat top to it.
It's a flat top. The old flat top.
The old flat top pyramid.
Table Mountain.
Yeah.
Table Mountain.
Anyhow, now you can go back on where you were. I just, I'm a big Cordelia.
No, well, speaking of Cordelia, how about the anatomical illustration with the photograph of Cordelia's head
and it
affixed?
fits so perfectly.
It does.
What are the odds?
How did they do it?
I love that they have not only a lab, but a dark room.
Yes.
Right? They fully developed those photos.
It is making me vom to think about what must have been underneath that like,
the sheet?
I understand this is not the scariest thing in the entire world, but okay, let's do real talk.
Okay,
they don't
they're
have
laying
like
there
a
on the
locker.
table, and then they're like, "Oh, this might hurt a little. You're gonna feel a little pinch around your neck or whatever." And then they like flip up the thing, and then you just see a headless bod, and then you're like, "Oh no, I'm the head." That's the worst.
Yeah.
I feel like in real life you'd be like, blah, blah, just vomiting.
Just
Just like, passing passing out, foaming everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Also, and I know why they did this because like they were building like the ideal girlfriend for the football player, but they really went out of their way to make sure you knew that they had chosen the bustiest. Like middle portion of the three girls. Like the sheet was like totally flat except for giant boobs.
Oh my god. I hate Also, not to skip way ahead, but at the end of the episode, Buffy's like, so why'd you do it? Or whatever and he's like, well, because my brother always protected me and I felt like I had to bring him back. And I really feel like he really skated on by because I do not agree that this is a good way to deal with grief.
He got to be like the normal kid who just got caught up in grief.
What was Eric getting out of all of this? And why was he like so into it?
I think he just had a boner the whole time.
Yeah, we
He's
did
a
hear
real
about
creep.
his porn collection briefly. So, he was the creep.
Hey, not that there's anything wrong with porn.
No,
and
but
that was,
but they
porn
made
shaming, was that necessary?
Him being really into porn is gross.
Is a bummer.
Yes, exactly. Precisely.
He's not into it for the right reasons. He has no respect.
I really want them to both get the help
they need some counseling for sure.
Well, what happened? Oh yeah, they do save Eric. What's going to happen to Eric? And also, you guys, sorry to pull apart this episode now, but it's just falling apart. It's unspooling right in front of me. Because the brother dies in a rock climbing accident. Did he dig his brother up? Is that what we're to believe? That he dug him up out of his grave?
Yeah, I think that's all that we have to work with.
Yeah, and the weird thing about that is that, like, okay, so
he didn't need a new head?
Right, that's a great one, that he didn't need a new head. Good
because
point.
they were talking about the formaldehyde.
So
he must have done it very quickly?
So he did it as soon as he fell down. So here's my other follow-up question.
Oh my God, you're dead! Hang on, let me put you back together.
Did he have this research done in the past?
Right. He was really good at science.
I mean, he is a science...
Which means you can bring people back from the dead.
These are
He's
unrelated
really good at science
things.
fair.
Mm-hmm. These are unrelated things. I feel like...
And then he has like
I feel
a book.
like... I think... Because the whole thing is about, like, there's time
Why do they have that
requirements. They're,
book
like,
in that
really
town?
stressed out about how they gotta
Yeah.
get stuff done real fast, but then it's unclear. It's unclear.
And then he's, like, just kind of moping around a little bit.
Yeah, and these boys, they need...
It definitely smells in there.
And you know what? I have a feeling, based on my knowledge of Sunnydale High School, they're not going to get the help they need.
That sounds right.
I think
And
they'll
then
be
I will
right
also
back.
say the old science lab.
Yeah.
That was at the school, though?
Yeah, supposedly that was at the school.
So there's a new science lab, and then the old science lab is so infrequently maintained by any staff or sort of maintenance person.
That you can build a Frankenstein in
Yeah,
it.
I think there's actually the same abandoned science building in Jennifer's body.
Oh, no.
Oh, you probably haven't seen that because it would scare you.
Well, don't you have a relationship with Jennifer's body?
Well, Diablo Cody went to my high school. And
It's just a weird thing to come
The
up.
skirt that Jennifer is wearing on the cover of Jennifer's Body is our uniform skirt.
Wow. Wow.
It was a random thing to bring up.
Yeah,
wow.
can you believe
Did you know that in advance?
That was
Maybe I've
buried.
told you that.
I did know that somewhere, but not actively. I
You
really
do
was
talk
just
about it
thinking,
all
There's
the
an
time.
abandoned- I do. Why wouldn't I? It's the weirdest.
I know, it's weird.
So what's in the... So in the basement is where they keep him, but at the science lab is where they're building her.
Who drove the car also? You know what I mean? Anyway, the other question I would have is the brother who's like at the end talking to Buffy, Chris, it got away from me or whatever. So he's just lost his brother again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's
It would
double
feel
whammy.
like maybe he would be sad.
Yeah, they gave it that one dramatic moment with the fire where he was like trying to get there, but he couldn't, and he had to let him go.
But then, you know, he's still actually dead now.
Right.
He hasn't been dead.
Right. And now he is really actually dead.
Now he's dead.
Daryl. I do love that his character's name is Daryl.
Yeah.
It just really gives it an extra touch.
I'm
Daryl.
so grossed out by this.
I really appreciate.
Daryl.
I want to say I appreciate the sacrifice that you made to be on this podcast.
Yeah,
I'm
so brave.
grossed out.
Yeah, and not intentionally, but we seem to have picked the episode that I think might have been one of the worst for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Truly.
There's like basements and then the head and everything.
How about Daryl climbing, like running back into the fire and climbing on top of the headless, sewn together corpse bits and whispering, "We'll be together forever. You're mine."
Well, I mean, to give Daryl a little credit, he's a reanimated.
Yeah. He's not operating probably with full
let him
faculties,
go.
but
Let him have his.
Do you think he's scared of himself?
Yeah.
I feel like I would be so creeped out.
Yeah. He doesn't want to go outside. He doesn't want to. Yeah. I know. We have to talk about Angel and Buffy. It's important.
I saw the fire and figured you'd be here.
Right? What is he doing?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I just feel like he's not him in this episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a little off.
He's written.
It's confusing, like whether or not he can fly. Do you know what I mean? I know he can't fly, but his name is Angel and he always pops up. So I just feel like that might be
not
a
totally
secret
convinced.
part.
Maybe.
Right.
He's always like kind of running into the.
Yeah.
Also, he's like
shaking off a little bit.
His history is that he's an incredible like warrior vampire. Like he's one of the strongest vampires of all time. And yet the whole episode opens where like this dinky vampire comes out of the ground.
Oh my god, he runs right into
the shovel. He just gets knocked out with the fucking shovel like that. Like what?
Maybe he got thrown off because he had to wear a fucking beige windbreaker. Sorry.
That's
no.
true.
Beige windbreaker is a problem always.
Rhea, do you have anything you want to share after your? I mean, this is a big deal. This is a big moment for you.
No, I enjoyed the show. I had a great time watching it. It was fun time traveling back to that time in my life. Trying to think of all the times when I would see like bumpers for Buffy during other things of like what's next on Buffy.
Right.
So that was really fun.
I feel we're tied together forever now.
Yeah, for sure.
That we can say that we were with you.
I'll remember this forever.
The first time.
The first time I watched Buffy and the first time my dog wore a hat that was a promotional item with a candle. A hat that was designed to fit on a candle fit on my dog. So, pretty great day.
Great
all in
around.
all.
Win-win.
I feel fantastic.
Well, thank you both for being on our podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here.
It's been really great to have you.
Oh, yeah, so great. You know, we have a podcast that's called Put Your Hands Together.
Yeah.
If anybody liked listening to us here, you could hear us do stand up
that
there.
I have a feeling we'll probably talk about Buffy next week. I mean, it's like in our brains. We'll probably talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, as long as...
Yeah.
Well, you better now.
Yeah,
we're all going to come waiting for Buffy.
Saying.
Yeah, awesome.
Come on over.
Cheers.
Also, I feel like you probably already know this, listeners, but Rhea and Cameron have a show. Rhea and Cameron.
Yeah.
Rhea and
Cameron.
Rhea and Cameron have a show.
A fucking fantastic show.
Fantastic show called Take My Wife.
You're going to see it on CISO.
And you should see it on CISO.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Stop cheating yourselves out of a fantastic viewing experience. Start living your best life.
It's important. You'll thank us. Or you're saying we've already seen it. Of course we've seen it.
Right.
Watch it again.
Yeah, watch it again.
But yeah, and thank you for all the things you do, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you guys.
You're doing great work. It's nice to be in the room with two humans doing badass work out there, you know?
Yeah.
I'm holding my fists in the air.
You were
They're up.
So before we go, we like to wolf howl out, and we were wondering if you would wolf howl with us.
Sure.
Great.
I can't wait to see what Murph's going to do for this.
Yeah.
Well, before we howl, I'm going to tell you that I'm Jenny Owen Youngs, and when I'm not watching Buffy, I'm usually writing and recording songs. You can learn more about me at jennyowenyoungs.com/buffering, and you can give me a shout on Twitter at Jenny Owen Youngs.
And I will tell you that I'm Kristen Russo, and you can find me over on Twitter at Kristen Noeline, KristinnNoeline. When I'm not podcasting with my wife, I work to bring advice, resources, and laughter to LGBTQ young people and their families over at everyoneisgay.com and mykidisgay.com.
Buffering the Vampire Slayer is on Twitter and Facebook at BufferingCast. And you can email us at bufferingthevampireslayer@gmail.com. Also, in case you missed it, we've got a whole album out now of Season 1 songs. And you can find that currently on iTunes and wherever you get your digital music.
If you like what we do, and you probably do, right?
Safe bet.
You can support our work now on Patreon. Just head over to patreon.com/bufferingcast. You can get all sorts of fun rewards and prizes and extra things, and it's a really great time over there. So go check it out.
Okay. Until next time.
Oh!
Murph's ears went all the way out.
He was into it.
Murph, you like the wolf howl.
What's up with this grave? You know, yesterday it had a girl in it, but now she's away. They're using her parts and other girls' parts. Could this be more disgusting? Cordelia found parts. When Daryl was in high school, he played football till he fell from some rocks and died. Then his science nerd brother brought him back to life. Now he's looking for a zombie bride. Yeah. Eric's a dick. These dudes are so sick. They just need a head to finish, and Cordelia's their pick. So during the game, they whisked her away, but the abandoned science building will soon be in flames. When Daryl was in high school, he played football till he fell from some rocks and died. And his science nerd brother brought him back to life, so he's looking for a zombie bride. One nice thing that happened today: Giles and Jenny Calendar went on a date. Hope they do it again. Well, you know what they say, librarians and techno-pagans always find a way. When Daryl was in high school, he played football till he fell from some rocks and died. Then his science nerd brother brought him back to life, but he'll never have a zombie bride, and Cordelia's still alive.
Dana Schwartz, and this is Rise or Die, the official companion podcast for Peacock's original series, Those About to Die. On this podcast, I go behind the scenes with the show's cast and creators to learn how they brought their brutal vision of Rome to life.
Gosh, people will freak out.
Rise or Die launches on July 18th. Watch or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.